Hello, once again. It is me again. Here once more to react to something a little different, something I don't normally do. This is the very first time that I've ever done this. And yes, before you say anything, I'm extremely late to this. And I would have done it sooner, but I don't like watching sub, okay? I don't do it. I find it pointless and I can't keep up with anything. So I wait for the dub to come out, which came out like a month or so ago. So yes, this is the final episode of My Hero Academia. This has been a long running show, roughly since I want to say 2020, maybe 2019 or 2020, 2018. I don't remember when the show came out, but it has finally reached its end with a whopping 170 episodes total. Now, I'm not going to show the entire thing. I'm not going to show like much of it at all. Try my best to avoid copyright, which is it's probably going to get struck anyways. And this is extremely late, so I doubt anyone. I'll be very surprised if anybody clicks on this video at all to even remotely watch 5 seconds of it. This is the finale, and I am extremely excited. It is a whopping 23 minutes long. I thought it would be a lot longer since it's a finale, and this entire season so far has just been absolutely crazy and mind-blowing, and my brain is just explosions all over the place. Like, what an insane series this show has been. And what an insane season this was. My God. At the edge of my seat the whole time. That fight was epic. It was absolutely fucking epic. But anyways, I don't want to extend this for too long. I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And I'm just going to show whatever small little clips and bits that I possibly can in this, okay?
Let's go later. Yeah.
No.
God, look at him. I'm so glad he's still alive. I'm so glad.
Kill the boy and get rid of his body.
Whoa.
What was so bad about me?
Oh.
Why was I the only one who suffered?
Hi there.
Oh my God. What do you want, old lady? What? How you gonna approach him like that? Oh shit. Oh my God. He looks so different, dude. Wow. Oh, that's why he has holes in his face. Okay. I love the song, dude. Is he a principal? Is he principal now? What? Mount Lady.
Would you Laura shut the hell up?
Oh my God.
Maybe I'll read it sometime.
Wow. Yeah, maybe you will. God, why do I sound like Kinga right now?
Smelly.
Of course, Yoshinori's crying, dude. Oh my gosh.
Let's go beyond.
Plus Ultra?
Don't waste your time. The news says villain emergence rates are falling. Fewer bad guys means fewer pros.
Look, to be fair, after the big fight, that would mean that the villain rate would be dropping very rapidly, right? So there are hardly any villains left to go around for new heroes, for new upcoming heroes. So like, is there even a point to bringing in recruits for more heroes in the future? Like, I mean, I'm sure that other bad people will stir up every now and then and try and do some bad stuff. But I mean, like, it almost feels like what they're doing now is pointless because maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. It's not as on high demand as it used to be now that the big war is over. So like, you know, we don't have to worry about All For One or Shigaraki anymore. So, man, I don't know. I never thought about that. I feel like these new students are doing this for nothing. But then again, they all have a goal and they're all striving to be heroes. I think maybe, I don't know. I'm looking into it too much.
Great explosion, murder god dynamite, and Shoto.
Oh, Eri! Eri!
Am I cool?
I think you need to be far stricter with your students.
He's a teacher.
You were pretty nice to us, all things considered.
Sure, but most of the time he wasn't.
My classmates have strong quirks, but not me.
Buddy, this guy didn't even have a quirk when he started, okay? He didn't even have a quirk, and look at him now. He didn't even have a quirk. I mean, he doesn't now, but you just don't know, bro. You have potential. You have a chance, I promise.
Is it possible for me to be a hero? Like you guys?
Yes.
Don't worry. You too can become a hero.
Even if your quirk is garbage, you can be a hero. Okay, so that was the end of My Hero Academia. Apparently, there are other shows aside from this one, like continuations maybe, that I guess continue from this, or maybe they're spin-offs. I don't know what they are. Maybe they're in different universes. I don't know. Because it's just like when they release the movies that don't have anything to do with the show. They are their own thing, apparently. They have new shows. They have 2 heroes and You're Next. And they might have way more than that. There's one called Vigilantes. There's so many. There's so much My Hero stuff now. As far as I know, that's the end of this one. It just, first, like when I first started watching this show, I was kind of thinking like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, I can't get into it. It's like, oh, he's quirkless, he doesn't have a quirk, everybody looks down on him and makes fun of him and bullies him and blah blah blah, the normal anime shtick, picking on the little guy and bullying. And it's really nice to see the show go from that point all the way to now, especially when looking back in like different seasons and like different struggles that Deku went through, with being a loser, basically, to having everybody just look up to him and like see him as one of the greatest heroes to ever live. Even though he doesn't have a quirk anymore, he's still able to help fight and in any way he can, even though he doesn't have One For All anymore, which I kind of figured that was going to happen later. He was going to have to like get rid of it or something. I never thought that son of a bitch would ever just decide to just straight up give it to Shigaraki, because that's been the whole premise of the show. Like, he's trying to get One For All so he can become unstoppable. That's the whole thing. It's the whole shtick. And Deku has the power, of course. Why would he ever give it to him? That's unheard of. It would never happen. That happens, it's game over. Well, that happened. And apparently it helped them win. The chances were very, very slim, but it was crazy. Crazy. Also, Toshinori, that's the same guy who voices Yami from Black Clover, which is another show that I enjoy. And I think that's nearing its final conclusion as well. I think they have like 1 or 2 more seasons left for that show, and then it's over. And I'm really excited for that one. This was probably my favorite anime show, like for the longest time, for a while. Big fan of the show. It's so cool. Like all the new characters they introduced, how it's developed over the years, and at 170 freaking episodes, it's over. 170. That's not much. They are so packed full of goodies and so many like amazing moments, special effects, and lots of attention to detail, and funny ass moments as well. Like there was a moment where they were just in class, and Midoriya was just like talking to people in the classroom, and just in the middle of his sentence, out of nowhere, there's just a block of cheese that is just slid into his mouth from the side of the screen, out of nowhere. He can't say anything. Is frozen. Fucking Aoyama has just a little piece of cheese that he just wanted to feed Midoriya. The first time I ever saw that scene, I was in tears because I was laughing so hard. It was just so unexpected and it caught me off guard. And I replayed it like 5 times. That is comedy gold. Comedy gold. It happens like twice throughout the whole show, but I mean, the first time it happened, my gosh. Oh, it's amazing. Aoyama, cool character. They're all good characters. And to find out that he was portraying them the whole time secretively, kind of like working for All For One a little bit, telling him this and that, and like kind of being like an undercover spy. Never once figured that. Never once even remotely thought of that. Like, that blew my mind out of the freaking water, dude. Out of the water. The show is a little bumpy when it gets to like season, I don't know, 3 or 4. Season 3 was when they were like going to camp and stuff, summer camp or whatever, I think. Season 2 was when they were training for their hero exams or whatever. season 4 and 5 was the stuff with overhaul and Eri Camino about to be like attacked and stuff, and like people get hurt, and some people I think did die. In season 6, what was season 6? Yeah, the Battle of Camino, was it Camino? As that's where the first big fight takes place with Shigaraki, and that's the whole season. Fight, big battle, crazy shit going down. You know, season 7 was like the conclusion of the battle, and then season 8, of course, the big final war with both Shigaraki and All For One. It just all tied up into a nice little bow, and I just love all the amazing like fight scenes that were in it, all the amazing like battles that were in the show. So good, dude. It's so good. Really happy that Bakugo didn't die. He was technically kind of dead. He was technically dead towards the end of it was season 7. If it wasn't for Edshot coming in there when he did, Bakugo would be dead right now. He would have been dead. He was on the brink of death, if not like kind of dead, before he came along and saved his life, and that was crazy. I think it's a 10 out of 10 show. 9.5 out of 10 at least. Most anime I look at, and most of it's a bunch of random crap that's just like, oh, weird, okay. But this one is something special. This is one of the more special ones. It's like real big, high production, big studio, big company, surely, and all their time and effort goes into making the show, and I'm sure it's not an easy feat for sure to keep up with something like this and make something like this. Such a bunch of talented people and artists, and man, I just want to commemorate them for what they have done, what they've given to the community, to the world in general. It's just so good. I'm kind of sad that it's over though. I'm kind of sad because like I started watching this show when I was like, I don't know, 20 years old, maybe 22. I'm almost 30 now. The show's been around for a while. It was like a new season every year. Man, what an amazing show. The first season, you know, the build up to everything, you know, a lot of people can't get into it because the biggest reason I think is because Deku is just a big crybaby and they just can't stand him. Same thing with like Naruto, of him being real annoying, always causing mischief, and he always says, believe it. People just, they get turned off by that, and they go somewhere else. I didn't mind it that much. That was fine. You know, a couple episodes were a bit rocky, but I eventually got hooked into Naruto, and I watched all of that as well, and Shippuden, and loved it. I didn't watch any of the filler though, except for like one episode when they tried to reveal Kakashi's face. That was a good one. I liked that. The rest I didn't care. Just like shows like Dragon Ball and One Piece, I couldn't get into those. It's too old for me. Just I didn't like the style. People say One Piece is like the best anime in the world. I don't see it. I can't do it. I'm not a big pirate fan, and just I don't know. I just can't do it. I'm more in this shit. This is like Marvel, but in anime form, and it's absolutely amazing. If you're into like heroes and villains and stuff, it's a good show. I mean, I'll just tell you who I'm glad survived, okay? Bakugo, for sure. I'm glad he survived. I'm glad he didn't die, even though he was very, 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 very close. Very close. Like, he was practically dead. All Might, Toshinori, I'm glad he didn't die. Torino, I'm glad he didn't die. He got hurt real bad and got put in the hospital. I am sad Shigaraki had to die. I was really, really hoping that Deku was just going to save him. Things were just going to be normal again. Things were going to be fixed and back to the way they were. You know, Night Eye died as well. That was really sad. There's a lot of moments in the show that are just tear jerkers. There was the stuff with Tenya Ida and his older brother. Tugged away at my heartstrings, dude. Tugged away at them. And then there was Himiko. Himiko died as well to save Ochako. That was sad. I hated that. Even though she was a villain, she was a misunderstood villain, and Ochako understood her. You know, so she tried to reach out to her, and she got to her, and she reached out to her, and you know, was trying to actually communicate with her. She died in because if you saw, you know, she gave her blood so that she wouldn't bleed out to death or die or whatever, and it killed her, and it was sad. It made me sad. We lost twice as well. Baigawara, I think that was his name. Eugene Baigawara. Man, lost so many characters. I was surprised to see a couple of the main characters survive though. Most of them actually did survive. Most of them. There was like one or two who did die, and it was sad. I think Lady Midnight died. Lady Midnight did die, which was sad, and a couple others. I don't exactly remember at the top of my head. Amazing show. I couldn't have asked for anything else or anything better. What did you guys think about this finale? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Did you expect more? And my God, Deku, so much willpower from a single anime character. I've never seen I have never seen a single character in any anime show to have as much hope. You could probably name off a couple who would be more full of hope and never gave up or whatever. But that's the anime thing anyway. It doesn't matter what character it is. They're always going to be like, I'll never give up no matter what you do or what you say. You can cut off all my limbs and you can gouge my eyes out. I will still fight. It doesn't matter what happens. In reality, if that were to happen, you literally wouldn't be able to do anything. I mean, I know they're supposed to be super mighty and all powerful and whatever, but it's anime. You're not supposed to be taken literally. It's nice to get these moments though, like, oh, I can do anything. I feel great. That's anime. Oh yeah, also Eri lending her horn, breaking it off of her own head to give to Deku to use the reverse wind effect or whatever to get his arms back. That was fucking wild. Cause he lost both of his arms. He lost both of his arms to Shigaraki / All For One. And my gosh, dude, I thought it was over at that point. I was like, this dude's got no arms and he's still going. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And the final episode, it was really nice to see everyone like graduating and like he's basically celebrating like, hey, they've graduated UA. A lot of them became teachers. A lot of them went out and like explored the world. They got really good benefits and, you know, like good jobs, good careers. And they were able to, some of them got into some good programs and groups. You know, and it was crazy to see Deku become a teacher. Dude's actually a freaking teacher. And like, you got to think this was 8 years later after the big fight, like after the big Great War. This was almost a decade later afterwards. So a lot's changed. A lot's happened. Deku still has like a scar from the big fight. I think it was the big fight. Actually, maybe it was from using One For All too much. I don't know. He used a lot of his power, like all of his power and all of the other users' power for One For all in one like punch. He did it like twice. I'm surprised he's not dead at this point. I'm so surprised, because they even said in the show, if you abuse the power or use it too much, or if you go over your limit, it will destroy your body. And he did that in like season 3 or 4. He absolutely destroyed his body to the point to where he really couldn't use it anymore, because he couldn't harness the quirk's true power yet. He couldn't control it. It was too much. Going 100%, because that was when he first got the quirk. He can only use a certain percentage at a time, you know, because if he used too much of it, it was going to damage him, since it was more abilities than one in one quirk. So it was too much for his body to handle. But in this like final segment, in this like whole battle, he's able to channel it, and he's got all the abilities, and he's just fucking wide open, just using everything he can to just defeat this guy, Shigaraki, and All For One. And oh my God, it's a wild, absolutely wild. Very, very powerful guy. Very, very OP character. I don't know how Deku, like full-fledged Deku with One For All, would even fare against like One Punch Man, because the dude can just hit him once and it's over. But it would be a matter of if Deku will allow that to happen. So, and if we know he's pretty good about dodging shit and knowing how to counter half, if not most, of the attacks that come his way. Sometimes he doesn't think and he's kind of dumb and he gets hit anyway. But, you know, he gets careless and overthinks too much. Anyways, that's it for this. Finally, let me know what you guys thought about this. If any of you see this. And I'll see you in the next one. There's probably more that I could talk about here, but stuff that I've already said and explained. And yeah, it's just the final send off of everyone's happy, everyone's wonderful, the world's great, and people are flourishing and have their own lives and careers, and they venture off and go their own paths. And the story continues from there. And that's pretty much it. thanks again for watching. If you are here watching this, and I will see you in the next one. Rather out.